Actually, I put another video out on my other channel about this activated charcoal, and for some reason they deemed it not to be advertiser friendly because maybe I criticized the pharmaceutical conglomerate crooks, or maybe it was just a brain dead millennial that did the manual review. Not that I care much. There's absolutely no monetization on this channel because there's not enough views and not enough hours, not enough subscribers and all this other garbage. And possibly because they put the brakes on these type of channels. You know, they can make or break anybody on YouTube, right? But let me just say this: I've been experimenting with supplements for quite a while. I've always took Nature's Way whole food vitamins, and I just take the best supplements. I've had this activated charcoal for quite some time, and I know that it has uses for poison control, also works against radiation, in the case of Chernobyl accident, and also in the case of Fukushima, and also in the case when you ingest poison by accident or something, or maybe you got a bad can of food, and I don't know, you got food poisoning. A lot of times this activated charcoal can work. Most of the time it can absorb poisons. They use it in hospitals for poisons, against poisons. Now, I do know that it works for detox, and the one thing of it was, I started reading a little more about it some while ago, and even though I had this for years, and I did try it for, I'd say, a week or two, and I was surprised at my energy levels that went way the hell up. But I decided to not take it every single day because some people don't say not to take it every day, or maybe do it 1 week and then give yourself a couple weeks break and all this kind of garbage. So I was taking diatomaceous earth instead every day, and I don't know, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes if your energy levels are up or down, but I can tell you one thing: the energy levels definitely are much better on me when I take this, possibly because I got toxins. And here's the catch. How I noticed for a fact. First off, when I started taking this I remember I was up late the night before. I had to take my cat Gold Digger down to the vet and be there at 8 o'clock in the morning, which was an hour away. And I only had about 4 hours sleep. And I wasn't tired. And I was surprised I wasn't tired. And it's sort of like, I don't know, it's sort of like something that slows you down, whatever is like lifted away from you when you take this activated charcoal. And I think it's the fact that it's removing the toxins. Now, activated means it's positively charged. Now, something I also picked up on positive charge is, I knew about this from the working with the frequencies with the positive offset. The positive offset shorts out the microbes and also adds electrons into the immune system cells and all the body cells. So this positive charge is probably doing the same thing. That's why it's called activated. It's positively charged. This stuff is cheap, though. That's the other thing. But, like people that take this stuff will take a lot more than what's directed on here. But I guess you should cycle it every once in a while. I'm taking, like, 2 capsules is 520 milligrams. I'll be taking probably like, more than 20 capsules a day sometimes. And the reason being, that's not actually you can't really, it's an inert object. It's just carbon. It's not, the worst thing that happens to you, you can get a little clogged up, and what you do is you drink a lot of water with it. You don't take any medicines at the same time you're taking this. You take an aspirin. If you take activated charcoal at the same time as an aspirin, it will do is it'll absorb the aspirin, because the aspirin is actually artificial. So it could possibly interfere with the absorption of some vitamins, but it's usually the vitamins that are artificial. They're pharmaceutically produced. So you don't want to take them. You don't want to take this at the same time as vitamins. You want to take them like 2 or 3 hours away between any kind of supplements or any kind of medicines or whatever, if you're taking any. But I have found my energy levels, I started taking this again, and the carbon C60, I haven't noticed any big difference. So I started taking this, and I take this at least a few hours away from the time I take the carbon C60 so that they don't interfere. If it does interfere or not, I don't know if it does, but it's like just as a precaution. I noticed ever since I started taking this last week, my energy levels increased greatly. And I was hardly going to the gym. Sometimes I was going like a half an hour, work out on the elliptical machine for half an hour. And I remember last week I went Monday, then I went Thursday, then I went Friday twice, then Saturday I was at the car show, and then Sunday I was busy with some other stuff. Then Monday I went for an hour, then yesterday I went for an hour and a half. I worked out for an hour and a half straight, which I haven't done that in a long time. I haven't even went 2.5 hours in one day in a long time. That was last Friday. And today I feel fine, and I plan on going there again today and do an hour and maybe an hour and a half, and maybe go back again if it's not too late. So something's going on with this stuff. It's only this stuff, at least with me. And that probably is because I have toxins. And it might be because I work on cars. You see this car over here, the El Camino? I've been working on cars. I don't do automotive for a trade. I'm an accountant, but I do amateur car stuff. And sometimes I work with chemicals and oils, and maybe it absorbs through the skin. And I don't know, maybe I got benzene toxification. I don't know. But I do know that this stuff is working like crazy. Diatomaceous earth is supposed to help detox, mainly with parasites. But this stuff seems to work like crazy. Works better than works better than this carbon C60, which carbon C60s cost some serious bucks. This stuff is dirt cheap, and you could buy it. Now, actually, Puritan capsules are pretty cheap. Yeah, and I don't know if this is from coconut husk or hardwood or I don't know. Don't really matter. Natural vegetable origin. That's all it says. Could be either one, you know. This stuff is about as cheap as bulk. So I don't mind taking a capsule. Some people remarked that, hey, take the bulk. Well, this stuff is actually as cheap. And, it's pretty good because if you take a capsule, it's simple. You don't have to mix it with nothing. It's cleaner and all this garbage. So I got a bunch of it here. Probably going to go through this pretty quick, but it's dirt cheap. But if it helps me work out more, it's great. I don't know why the hell, it was weird when I said on that other video on my other channel was that, pharmaceutical don't want you to know this kind of stuff, and they're a bunch of crooks. Maybe they didn't like that, I don't know. But then again, it could have just been some stupid millennial freaking reviewing it, because it's a manual review done by people, so depends on who the hell it is. But it's sort of like the same thing. Like when you have vitamin C, you can see a serving, they'll tell you the recommended daily allowance is 60 milligrams to 75 milligrams. You're thinking about upping that to 120 or 100. And there's medical doctors out there, even Dr. Linus Pauling, who's a PhD, a two-time Nobel Peace Prize winner, they'll tell you, at least 3,000, 15,000 milligrams. I mean, if I'm taking way more, this is a very inert substance. It's like, there's no toxicity in this. There's certain things that have toxicity and other things don't. Very few things don't have toxicity. This is just activated charcoal. As a matter of fact, in days gone by, people used to cook with wood stoves, right? They used to take the ashes from the wood stove and put it in their gardens. And the ashes from the wood contained all the trace carbon minerals and stuff. Used to get up into the plant. And all that stuff actually, then it got absorbed into the plant. It wasn't required for the plant to grow, but then you ate the garden vegetables and it got in your body. You see, this activated charcoal probably works for other reasons. I'm assuming since it comes from hardwoods and coconut shells, and this just says vegetable source or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what the heck. Natural vegetable origin. Well, you figure that it's the same kind of principle whereby the ashes from the fireplaces were used in the gardens and all that good stuff got into the vegetables and you consumed them, and that was very healthy for you. As a matter of fact, the wood fires actually put some of that in the food itself from the smoke. So, it's something that's missing today. You know, you could actually buy organic, non-GMO food. Doesn't mean it's grown in the best soils. So it's sort of like, why are these other soils better? Because they had glacier runoff from, which might have had trace minerals in it. But the way to get the trace minerals before was to take the ashes from the fireplaces, which contained, you know, whatever was in the trees and whatever was in the wood, put it in the soil, it gets up in the plant. So I'm assuming that's in this charcoal too when they make this. Plus the fact that it's activated, it's positively charged. Positively charged means it'll attract the bad microbes and the toxins and repel other things and add electrons to the natural body cells. I don't know, this stuff is working like crazy. It's dirt cheap too, that's what's amazing about it. I kept a lot of it on hand because I figured it's good for toxicity. I don't know if they got another oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico or something, and there's a big cloud of toxic fumes coming out of it or something. You know, you might want to take this, or if just radiation from some crazy nuclear accident, it's good to have, right? That's why I was always keeping it on hand, but I never took a lot of it. I always had it for emergencies. But then when I started experimenting with it, I discovered that this stuff definitely gives me more. I'm going to be taking this every day, but I have to be cautious to take it away from my other supplements, away from the time I take my other supplements. So I take a lot of supplements at night. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I'll take some more vitamin C, magnesium, saw palmetto, whatever. And during the day, after it gets more in the afternoon, not in the morning, I really load up on this stuff. And it makes me have more energy. Because me, anyway, I don't know. But I'm not the only one that says this. So either way, this channel is not monetized. So, you know, I'm not going to have to worry about getting reviews on this garbage. I'm just telling you the truth. And, you know, fight the power. This is the rebel flag here. So this is cool because this is one of the few things out there that is so cheap. And you can really make it yourself. Maybe you can't make the activated charcoal, but charcoal has actually been a healer throughout the centuries in many cultures. Even charcoal or ashes applied to the skin helps absorb toxins. That was what they used to use, like the American Native Indians used to use that for poisons and stuff. You know, if you had poison bitten by a rattlesnake or something, they would put your whole body in ashes, stuff like that, to try to draw the toxins out through the skin. And I probably got toxins through the skin from working on cars, like that thing over there. And I've been working on cars forever. Even though I'm not a mechanic by trade, I've been exposed to a lot of this stuff for many years, and it's probably accumulated over the years. Probably got a lot of benzene poisoning, and besides the other stuff that comes from everyday life in America, whereby we eat any food we have has preservatives in it, artificial colors, artificial flavors. All that stuff is toxic. So there you go. So this stuff is good. This stuff is great.